Hello, everyone. So remember the day Taoiseach Leo Varadkar came out saying COVID could be always with us forever. And again, this is the question we need to ask. And they're going to shout down at me conspiracy theories, anti-facts, anti-this, anti-that. And it's just genuine questions because, again, the government is saying one thing. Again, the Taoiseach is coming out and saying it could be with us forever. Then the next minute they're saying, we're going to vote to extend the emergency powers to this. Remember, listen to this now. February the night. February the night. You're going to extend it to February the night. There could be we're not going to vote and we're going to wait and see what happens. At least if they said that, maybe you could say that's reasonable. Let's be honest, that's reasonable. But what's being unreasonable here? And again, people shout me down for being anti-vax and this, that, and the other. Again, that's what democracy is. You have to challenge people's authority. You have to challenge Stephen Donnelly. They have too much power. Again, this state, and we have to be honest with ourselves here. It was said the last time this will be the last time we extend it. This is all control. It's all about getting control. And we see it at the moment. They don't want to release it. We can see it in Stephen Donnelly. I can see it in Stephen Donnelly. They don't want to release the power. They're too high on power. They really are too high on power. And this is not about saving lives or anything. As one person said in the European Parliament, again, I can't remember who it was. I think it was some MP from Portugal. When did the government ever care about people's health and how people are doing? When did they ever care? When did the aristocracy in this country or any other country care about the people? When did they ever care? Like, let's be honest. When did they ever take care of how you and I were doing in our day-to-day lives and how we were coping and being out in the cold or whatever? How did they ever care? Looking back in history, they never cared. In industrial Britain back in the 19th century, the government never cared that people were choking because there was so much factories popping up black. They never cared. Never was any past much marks on that. They never cared because it wasn't affecting the aristocracy. As long as it wasn't affecting the higher ups, they didn't give a fuck about you or me, the working class. And how have all of a sudden they care about us? They care, the Irish government, the ones who utterly treat us like dog shit. Our own government treats us like dog shit. And again, they're playing us for fools. They are playing us for fools. They really are playing us for fools. Because they're like, this is the last time. Stephen Donnelly today in the door was like, this will be the last time. And anybody opposed saying, I disagree with Stephen Donnelly, let's shout it down as an anti-faxer, at the this, at the that, and at the other. Again, that's what debate's all about. And again, I've seen people shouting people down for asking genuine questions of Stephen Donnelly. Like, why in the name of God do you need this still emergency powers? There's countries like Denmark, like Norway, they have got rid of every emergency powers because they're like, we can't do this forever. We can't put our people under so much stress. Because that's what it's doing. It's affecting every citizen. Again, you need to understand this. And the media is not helping. They're like 3,000 cases. Again, you have to understand. And I want to just say this. I'm not anti-vax or anything like that. Whatever people want. If people want to get the vaccine, whatever, it's up to them. But we have to ask a genuine question here. This is a genuine... I know you might take a bit of offence to this. But it's a genuine question that needs to be asked in the public domain. What is the vaccines doing? Is the vaccines actually doing anything? Because the cases seems like, it's going by the media, seems like the cases are going up for no reason. Even though 90-something% of the Irish population is vaccinated. What more? Like, again, do the work... Is that... Like, again, I don't want to be conspiracy theories, but this is the thing you need to ask yourself. And this is the thing the government needs to say. What is happening here? Why is the 3,000 people... And again, they can't be all unvaccinated people. Like, let's be honest here. They can't be all unvaccinated people. And let's be honest. How many of them has the flu and things like that? Like, again, what's the difference between COVID? This is the thing I never really understood too. Because three people I knew had to go and get tested. And they had just a cough, just an only cough. And it's so a runny nose. And the doctor said COVID, sent you to the test. Immediately, sent you for a test. And it is the flu. Like, let's be honest, it's the bug, it's the flu. And one person had a headache and had to be sent for a test. And they came back COVID. And he had a headache. And again, I don't know where they're getting these COVID tests from, but we all know the PCR test is not the reliable thing, and even doctors have said it. But again, it makes no sense. Everything that's happening at the moment makes no sense. And it's all about control and fear. And we see this in the media. They're even portraying this now. 3,000 cases. More or less the media is saying we should lock down the whole country. Close everything down. Lock everybody in their houses. Get armed guards on the street with machine guns. Shooting people who dare to disagree with the government. This is what the media is doing. None of the media are asking Stephen Donnelly, why do we need to do this? There's been so much harm done by these emergency legislations on businesses and every other thing. And we have to think about other things apart from COVID. We have to live our lives. That's what we're here to do now. We're here to live our lives, not to sit in our houses and stay in lockdown for the rest of our lives. That's not a life. That's more or less being in prison. We didn't do anything wrong. We're the people of Ireland. We did nothing wrong. We have done nothing wrong. We do everything for our country and to keep our families alive, to keep the economy going and everything. We have done nothing wrong. The people in prison are more free than us, than the people who are doing everything right, who are abiding by things. And again, the government are saying, basically, you have no rights, you have nothing at all. You just basically control, you're just there to be told what to do. You're not allowed to think for yourself. You shout it down as soon as you say anything that disagrees with any narrative that the HSE or anybody puts out. You shout it down, it's at the facts, at the this, at the that. And the media, you should be asking questions. That's what they're there for. That's what they're there for, to ask what the public are thinking. But again, the media betraying one side, they won't ask the other side. They really won't ask. So I'm very worried up. I'm really very worried up. Because the audacity of these, and again, it will go through. The votes tomorrow, it will go through. Not a hell of a doubt it will go through. It will go through. Fianna Fáil and the Green Party will go through. Sinn Féin might vote against. I don't know what Sinn Féin will do. But they have the numbers. The only thing that can be done is if members of Fianna Fáil, TDs, and I say this to members of Fianna Fáil and TDs and senators and things like that, to just literally walk out of the door. Literally walk out and resign your seat. Because that's what needs to be done. Because this is turned into a authoritarian state. And we see, and I could bet you on my life, at the night of February, and again, we can't trust them. When can we ever trust the government? Have they ever done anything good for you and I, the people? Have they? Think back. Look at the amount of people lying in the street. Look at the amount of young people that have to leave our country because they can't afford to live in this country. Look at the hospital waiting lists of elderly people struggling to survive, with kidney problems, with many other problems. Look at the young people waiting for mental health services. Have the government, and again, it's about protecting your health. My fucking bollocks. Because if it's about protecting your health, look what else has been caused. People waiting on hospital waiting. Have over 1 million people waiting on hospital waiting lists. And for your health, again, it doesn't make any sense. It really, really doesn't. Again, I'm not being conspiracy theorist or anything. It's just saying what I'm taking. Again, it's my opinion. Again, I used to be whatever the government said back at the beginning of this, and whatever the local authority said, whatever, I used to go with it. I used to not question. I'll be totally honest. I never used to question. I used to just say they probably had the good of a heart, because again, it was pushed on us really, and we all kind of didn't know what it was, and it was the same situation. I didn't know what to react or how to react. And you just follow. You follow your leadership. But again, I came to a point where I was like, hang on a second. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make much sense, everything. Some things make sense, but other things don't. And the other things are too extreme. Again, it's extreme. And how is it constitutional? Please explain. In what green earth is the constitution? Where are these human rights people? Again, it's trampling every right in the Constitution. And we can't do that forever, just trampling on the rights of the Constitution. But as I was saying there before, I got absolutely pissed off again. Whenever the 9th of February comes, they'd be like, let's extend it to the summer. And then they'd be like, let's extend it to Christmas. Let's extend it into 2023. Let's extend it to the next election. And then we can cancel the election because COVID cases and X, Y, and Z. Because again, they said the last time, this would be the last time, we would never need it again. And I remember TD saying that in Fine Gael, that only one more time we need to extend it. And now they're like, we need to extend it again. And again, I see no point. Because again, it's up to people, and again, I say this straight. It's up to people. Government shouldn't have what you and I can do. It's up to you and I to say to ourselves, is it risky, is it not risky? Because again, we don't need them looking after us. We pay them for a reason. We pay them to make sure that the health service or systems are running of government. We pay them to represent us. We don't pay them to lecture us and to tell us where you can't go, how you can do your life, how you could run your life, how you can run your business, your private business, which you pay tax to the government to run. And they come along and say, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. How dare you? This crack. Again, it's just my opinion. But again, I know people will disagree with me immensely. But just think for yourself. Don't listen to the media for a second. And take it all in. Take it all in. And say, hold on a second. No, this can't go on any longer. You have to think about other things. You have to think about what's happening outside of COVID, because there's a life outside of COVID, wherever they live in the media. But yeah, we have to think about it. That we can't be just like this for the rest of our lives. Go and living in fear. Again, this is what it is. Living in fear. Putting our people into fear. And that's what it is. We can't just give them the emergency powers. And again, we can't give the government the emergency powers to close down the country at any moment, or to bring in any law under the sun they want, as they deem necessary. So, we can't do it. We simply can't do it. So I'm appealing to Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael TDs to resign your posts and to leave, not to leave. But again, I know they won't listen. None of them listen. But you have to think for yourself that it's far too extreme the powers that have been given and the powers that have been requested to give. It's far too extreme.